My name is Jim Eaton. Most of you that may be watching this, well, I won't say most, some of you will know me. And hopefully by the end of this exciting relationship that involves Avivo, more of you will know me as we go down the path of a relationship with an organization I think we're all going to be proud to be associated with. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the problem, the big idea, and then the organization, of course, Avivo, that is the real leader of the response that you'll know a lot more about in a few minutes. Then I'm going to tell you a little bit about the actual Avivo Village, which is where this project is going to take place. And you'll have a chance to see a few images from it, so you'll actually physically be able to understand it. Tell you a little bit about what's going to happen there and the people that are going to be there, the people that will reside there. And then talk, most importantly, about what your monies and engagement will do, how we will not only be engaged from a financial perspective, but also, even maybe more importantly, the human talents and opportunities to be a part of something that's going to be so significant potentially and really may really be a factor in helping it get a real exciting learning outcome from dealing with one of the most serious community problems we have, and that's homelessness. So that's the roadmap for the next few minutes. I'd like to start by asking you to imagine with me one thing. We have just gone through and are still going through the coldest 10 days that we have had in 5 years. And for all of us that live in the Twin Cities, we can really experience it by whenever we go out the door. Imagine if you were like the people that we're going to be talking about, who never quite know where they're going to have to spend that night. They are the unsheltered portion of the homeless population that literally lives from encampment to encampment, or tent to tent, or skyway to skyway, not knowing where they're going to rest in a given evening. Well, that's the population, the chronically homeless population, that this project with Avivo we're talking about serving. Not only as a macro community, but as an individual who maybe in our time and experience working, sort of touching homelessness, like through Loaves and Fishes or through Families Moving Forward, have wanted to do a deeper dive and to really try to get in underneath the tent of homelessness, but didn't really know how. Well, we're going to provide you an opportunity to actually learn more about and feel connected to that population in a way that will be meaningful to you, and from your contribution of time and talent will make a difference in the outcomes that Avivo and us as a partnership can provide together. The first of a kind Avivo Village will serve the most complicated segment of the homeless population. The population in most cases that are facing a combination of personal, cultural, and economic challenges. So these are people that have usually deep-rooted challenges in their life. And that's what Avivo's business has been since 1960. So nice segue to talk a little bit about Avivo as an organization. And let me just very briefly, because they are such a major and comprehensive social service organization, I could spend a lot of time. But let me just share a little bit from their website, just a bit, so that kind of sets the context for why they are the qualified organization to really take on this assignment. At Avivo, here's their opening statement on their website. At Avivo, we believe that everyone deserves the chance to live well and work well. Avivo provides a full spectrum of chemical, mental health, and career education and employment services. They pair their services through a way of laying a foundation of health and social and economic wellness that transforms lives. So they are already embedded with a systemic, integrated approach toward being able to better understand and respond to the unique needs of a wide and critically challenged set of people. So that's their world. And it's because of that diverse and long-term background, because as I mentioned, they were formed in 1960, that they were asked by the city of Minneapolis and Hennepin County to consider taking on this project. My connection with Avivo has been 15 years, and that is part of my professional life. I've had the privilege of getting to know the CEOs and executive directors of 25 nonprofit organizations, and 14 of those are now members of a nonprofit cohort made up of CEOs and executive directors that I've had the privilege to work with for the last 15 years. And Avivo is one of the members, was one of the legacy members of the group when it was formed by me in 2005. About the physical nature of this project, which is called the Avivo Village, and the very special uniqueness of it, and that is that this is the first attempt anywhere in the country of trying to grapple and take hold of some disruptive and new ways to really try to respond to the critical challenges of chronic homelessness. It will consist inside a warehouse location in the North Loop of Minneapolis of 100 tiny shelters that are all formed together in a community. So one of the images you'll see is just looking down the street of one of the areas of the warehouse that will house, if you look down the street, there's probably maybe 20 of these on each side, like a road. And then what you don't see, which represents another image, is an image of a shower. It's handicapped accessible, and along with toilets will also be provided, as you might expect is needed. But there'll be a whole bank of these, of both showers and toilet areas, and they'll be unisex because there'll be locks and security. So inside also are all the offices of the staff that will be support, and that's truly the uniqueness about this undertaking. And the other very important thing is all the services of the network of Avivo professionals will be available on site, including chemical dependency, health assessment, and a very heavy emphasis on transition, because the overall goal is to transition these people from dependence to independence, and do that through paying attention to their health and well-being, and equally important is the whole area of those that could be trained to join and become contributing members of our society and in our community through job training. There's a very heavy emphasis on initially dealing with the personal nature of who they are and whatever needs they have from a health, mental health or addiction, and many times they're coming out of abusive situations, so they have to deal with all the social service stuff. And that's what Avivo's business is. And then with a goal of transitioning them on to move on, not only in terms of their own housing, which is a core part of the goal, but also from job training and becoming more independent, and therefore gaining something that most of these people don't have, and that's dignity, the sense of who they are, and they do have some value and importance. Not unimportant by any means is what's our role, what's Colonial's role as we go forward. And I'm happy to report many things that we brainstormed a little bit about this, but a lot of this we don't really know how many opportunities there may be, because this is a moving, evolving universe. But we've talked a lot about it. The first thing that we're going to do is have a steering committee. This is such an exciting area, and yet there's so many unknowns that we're going to have a steering committee of those that might step forward and want to be a part of this, just to be the part of the liaison between the Avivo people that are very excited and committed to being partners with Colonial in terms of exploring all the possibilities. A lot of what we will be doing, we may not know now, but there's going to be plenty of exciting and very practical things that we can do. What if we are blessed beyond the initial budget for this grant. The two things I haven't commented on is most of the fees or the grant contribution from Colonial will be used to support the services of the staff, all these professional resources. And because this is so new, and none of the budget that was provided by the CARES Act in government and county agency, they'll mostly with the physical things, they don't know. All they know is what they're going to immediately need, and most of our fees and monies that we're donating will go toward the human resource aspect and the services aspect. If we were fortunate enough to get one of the extra bonus contributions, I would say that we would explore together with Avivo leadership how those monies could be used, because it is going to be a moving experience that will end up having other needs surface where funds that are available from organizations like Colonial can really continue to make a difference. And the last thing I'll close on is metrics. Isn't it going to be exciting to know that we can really measure in outcomes what happens? We'll know, we can follow each of the paths of these 100 people and look out a year and a half, a year from now, or 2 years from now, back on what transpired and the differences and successes we've had, and also the challenges, the things that didn't work, and be in a position to alter them to keep this thing going and growing as we go forward, who knows how long. Thank you so much for being a part of this and helping us create a better future for this very important part of our population that hasn't had enough attention.